The moment after defeat. The battle ended in silence. Not the peaceful, kind, but the heavy silence that follows when everything that could be destroyed already has been. Human ships drifted in broken formations, their hulls torn open, their lights fading one by one. The alien armada held position, above them flawless, untouched, watching, like judges who had already reached a verdict. I was still alive, which felt like a mistake. The command deck around me was dark except for emergency lights. Crew voices were gone, either dead or disconnected from the network. Outside, the viewport fragments of our fleet slowly rotated, as if space itself was studying the wreckage. The aliens had not fired again. They did not need to. The battle was over. We had lost. Then something strange happened. The alien ships did not move. They did not advance or finish us. They simply waited. Their formations were too precise, too calm. It felt less like victory and more like expectation. I checked the time display on my console. It flickered once. Then again. The seconds stopped counting forward. I thought the system was damaged until I noticed the stars. They were shifting, not moving away or toward us, but subtly sliding back into positions. I remembered from minutes earlier. A destroyed human cruiser outside the viewport began to glow faintly. Cracks along its hull pulled together like wounds, reversing themselves. Debris slowed, then changed direction, drifting back toward the ship it came from. My breath caught in my chest. Across all channels, a signal pulsed. It was not a message. It was a synchronization. Tone something only human ships used, and only in one classified scenario. Temporal alignment. The aliens reacted instantly. Their flawless formation broke for the first time. Ships adjusted positions, weapons powered up, engines flared, but it was already too late. The battle clock on my console reset, not to 0, to 12 minutes earlier. I remembered that moment clearly. That was when the alien flagship fired its opening strike. That was when everything went wrong. But now I was here again, alive, aware. A new interface unfolded across my display systems I had never been cleared to see. Human ships across the sector lit up with the same signal. Even those that had been destroyed moments ago were now fully intact, responding in perfect coordination. We had not rewound the universe, only the battlefield, only ourselves. The alien armada opened fire again, repeating the same pattern, confident in a victory they had already tasted. But this time our ships moved before the first shots landed. Shields angled, engines burned, early weapons charged in different sequences. I understood then. This was not a second chance. This was the plan. Humanity had never intended to win the first battle. We had needed to lose it. To map every move, every weapon, every assumption the enemy had. And now the aliens were about to fight an enemy that already remembered how they died. The battle had been rewound. And this time we were ready. The battle that remembered. The first shots followed the same paths as before. I recognized them instantly. Streams of alien energy cut through space exactly where our shields used to fail. Except they did not fail this time. Human ships moved with impossible precision. Not faster, not stronger, just earlier. Shields flared a second before impact. Hulls rolled aside before targeting solutions completed. The enemy weapons hit empty space where we no longer were. Across the command channels, no one shouted. No one panicked. Every crew already knew the outcome of each mistake and avoided it. The fleet did not fight like it was reacting. It fought like it was recalling. I watched a destroyer on the left flank break formation early. In the first battle, that ship had hesitated and died. Now it surged forward, drawing fire exactly long enough to expose the alien cruiser behind it. 3 human vessels fired at once, collapsing. The cruiser core in a single, coordinated burst. The explosion happened where I remembered nothing had happened before. History was changing, but not randomly. The alien armada began to adapt. They always did. Their ships adjusted firing frequencies, altered movement patterns, recalculated engagement distances. On any normal battlefield, that would have been enough. But adaptation takes time, and time was something we had already spent. I felt the pressure behind my eyes grow stronger. The interface on my console displayed branching, probability lines collapsing. As choices were removed, we were not exploring possibilities. We were narrowing toward one specific future. The one where we survived. Then the aliens did something unexpected. A pulse rippled outward from their flagship, distorting sensors and warping space. Several human ships froze mid-maneuver, not physically but temporally. Their engines burned, but they did not advance as if caught in thick glass. They were trying to anchor the present. If they succeeded, the rewind would fail. Command reacted instantly. The order did not come through words. It came through alignment. Human ships altered, their timing offset by fractions of a second, slipping between the frozen moments. Weapons fired not where the alien ships were, but where they would be before the anchor locked. I realized then what made this technology terrifying. We were not controlling time. We were stepping between its decisions. The strain was building. Systems overheated not from power but from causality stress. Consoles flickered with warnings that did not have standard symbols. Crew members bled from the nose or collapsed, unconscious as the fleet mind pushed forward. This was not sustainable. We had enough temporal coherence for one victory only. The alien flagship began to retreat. Not strategically, instinctively. It recognized something it could not counter, a force that learned from defeat instead of fearing it. Human ships closed in, tightening the net. Every movement was careful, deliberate, final. No wasted shots. No heroic charges, only inevitability. I felt a strange sadness then. Not for us, for them. They had won the battle fairly, completely, and it had meant nothing, because humans had built something worse than a superweapon. We had built memory into war, and memory was unbeatable. The alien Armada was still fighting, but it was already losing a battle that had ended once before. And this time there would be no rewind for them. The victory that never happened. The alien flagship burned without sound. Its surface fractured in slow, brilliant arcs as human fire struck every critical note at once. Not by chance, not by luck. Every shot landed exactly where it needed to, because we had already watched that ship survive those hits in the first battle. We were correcting a memory. Around it, the Armada began to unravel. Command ships fell silent. Smaller vessels broke formation, attempting to flee vectors that no longer existed. Space was crowded with the echoes of choices they no longer had time to make. The temporal anchor collapsed. When it did, the pressure lifted all at once. Several crew members dropped where they stood. I felt the weight behind my eyes fade, replaced by a deep, hollow calm. The interface on my console began to dissolve line by line until only standard navigation data remained. The rewind window was closing. We had minutes, maybe seconds. Human ships pressed the advantage with ruthless efficiency. There was no celebration, no cheers, only execution. Every alien vessel destroyed reduced the chance of a future where this technology would be needed again. Then it happened. Time snapped forward. Not violently, not with distortion, just a quiet correction, like a breath being released. The stars settled. Motion smoothed. Systems stabilized. The battle was over, for good. I checked the chronometer. From the universe's perspective, the fight had lasted less than 4 minutes. Debris drifted where an Armada once ruled the sector. Human ships regrouped, their hulls scorched but intact. No sign remained of the defeat I remembered, except in our minds. Except in mine. Command channels reopened. Medics moved through decks, checking on crews who had carried the temporal load. Some would never remember what happened. Others would remember fragments, dreams of dying twice or watching enemies move before they should. I remembered everything. Later, as we exited the system, I finally received a direct transmission from Fleet Command. It was short and deliberately unremarkable. Temporal engagement successful. Memory layer sealed. No further rewinds authorized. That was it. No praise, no explanation. Because if this technology became legend, it would become temptation. Humanity would not survive that. I understood then why the first battle had been allowed to happen. Why billions of credits of ships and lives had been risked. Why only a handful of us were permitted to remember. Victory meant nothing if the enemy could study it. But defeat taught them everything. We had needed to know how we died, how our tactics failed, how confident the enemy became when they thought the fight was over. The alien Armada never learned that lesson. They won the battle. Then the human ships rewound it and erased the victory from reality. As the fleet jumped away, I stared at the stars one last time. Somewhere in the flow of time there existed a version of this universe where we were all dead. Where the alien Armada ruled uncontested, that universe remembered us losing. This one never would. And that was the most dangerous weapon humanity had ever built. Not time travel, not reversal, memory. Because once a war remembers how it ends, there is no way to fight it again.